Okay guys, so I wanted to come back and make another short video. I just read a couple of the comments, and so there were a couple people that had a couple questions, so I thought I would start out with the one, I guess that's the most important, that brought me to this situation, the relationship, the marriage that I'm in, which is our love story, and how it all started and how it happened. So it's not going to be a long vlog because, yeah, we've only been together like 2.5 years. So this is how it started. I was living in Tennessee, Chattanooga to be exact. I was not working. I was pretty depressed. I just wasn't having luck finding solid work there. I had moved across country for an ex-boyfriend about a year previous to that, and it just didn't work out with him. So I had my own apartment. When I was living in Knoxville, we had broken up, and so my mom actually moved out, and she brought up the option to buy a house because it's so cheap to live in the South. So we decided we were going to buy a house in Chattanooga, that she was going to have it for a year, and that she was going to sign it over to me. And then I could take over the payments and it would be my home after a year. So we find this house in Chattanooga. It's a fixer-upper, but it was super cute. And as soon as we move in, like within a month, everything starts going wrong with it. So, anyhow, while we were in Chattanooga, I remember getting online. I was just kind of lonely, and I didn't feel like I belonged there at all because I'm from California originally, and I've always felt like the most comfortable on the West Coast. So I decided to get online, and I was looking for a pen pal. Well, I came across a website called writeaprisoner.com, and it's a pen pal site for inmates. And so I was planning on moving back to Washington. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to do this chemical dependency program, which I'm in right now, and they offer it in two areas. One is Eastern Washington, and the other is in like the Seattle area, which is where I live now. And so I decided I wanted to move to Spokane, which is in Eastern Washington. So I actually, you can select like what area you'd like to talk to people in, or what profiles you'd like to see in what area. So I actually chose that area, and I went through these profiles, and I started looking at them, and I came across my husband's profile, and there was just something about it. Like, he's super funny, and the way that his profile was worded was hilarious and sarcastic, and he was really cute, and he looked a lot younger than I thought he was. He looked a lot shorter than he is, and so anyhow, I saw his profile. I kept going through some others, and I kept coming back to his. So I took that kind of as a sign, okay, I'll message this guy, and maybe I'll make his day, by sending him this email. So we have a program in Washington State called JPay, and a lot of other states are bringing it into their prisons and their jails. And you can email from it. You can send them virtual stamps so they can email back. You can do video visits, which is like Skype. You can also send money, send music credits so they can download music onto their player and that kind of thing. So I sent him an email via JPay, and I didn't expect to hear back that soon. So I ended up hearing back from him 2 days later, because it can take 1 to 2 days for them to get it. So I got this email back from him, and he was complimenting me on my music, my taste in music, because I like old school punk music and rock and that kind of thing. And he was talking to me. I sent him 2 pictures to show him what I looked like, and he said that I looked good. He thought I was pretty, and we just talked about random things, about why I was in Chattanooga, and growing up in California, and just life in general, and school and all of that. And it started from there. A week after we started emailing, I think it was a week or 2 after we started emailing, we talked on the phone for the first time. And our phone calls are 20 minutes, apiece, and so it gives you a little bit of time to talk. So we talked on the phone. I think in the beginning it was like once every 3 or 4 days, and then within like a week or two it was every single day we were talking on the phone. And then we did a video visit while I was still in Chattanooga, and that was probably maybe like a month after we started talking. And at this point, like, it had gotten so serious. We were so into each other. We were talking daily. We had known so much about each other. We'd learned so much about each other that I feel like I'd known him for so much longer than a month. But I remember like not being able to hold it back and telling him over the phone one day that I loved him, and I just couldn't hold it in any longer. It's like, if you've been in love, you know how it is, you know, that first time that you say I love you, you just have to get it out, you know, you can't hold it in any longer. You have to tell that person. And I totally did that, and I was the first person to tell him. And he like had this sigh of relief after I told him, and he's like, okay, good. He's like, I was just about ready to tell you. And about, let's see, we met in May, or we started talking in May. In August, I moved back to Washington, so 3 months later, and I met him in person as soon as I moved back to Washington. Like the second day I moved back, I went to go see him, and the first time we saw each other, it was super comfortable, but you have that awkward kiss because you know other people are watching. I do have a picture too from the first time that we saw each other. Hold on, guys. Okay. So, yeah, so first visit was awesome. Like, we had a couple silences, but it wasn't like uncomfortable silences. And it was just perfect, like what I imagined. So anyhow, sorry, I'm like skipping all around here. Met the first time in August. We were married on June 22nd. So we were married 6 months after we started talking. And it wasn't like, you know, nobody was there. Like, my mom was there, his mom was there, and her husband, his dad was there, and his wife, his cousin was there, and his best friend was there. So it was really cool. Like, we had a lot of family there. My family's not in Washington, so it was hard for the majority of my family to be there. Oops, sorry about that. But yeah, we got married 6 months after we met. I actually lived about 2 hours from where the prison was, and I would go and visit him every week. Occasionally I would go and get a hotel room, and I would stay for 2 days. And then about August, September, October, November, December, January, 6 months after I moved there, I decided I wanted to move closer to him. So I actually moved to the town where he was incarcerated, and I just happened to get a really good job there that paid better than where I was at. I found an apartment there that was pretty cheap, and it worked out. I was there for about 9 months. I got to visit him 3 times a week, which was awesome, and I loved it. I mean, I loved being able to see him as often as I did. I hated the area that I was at because I had no friends or family there, and I hated the weather there. It was just, yeah, it is what it was. But anyhow, after 9 months, we talked about it, and I decided, you know, hey, I want to move back to Western Washington. So I moved back here in January of this year, and he was able, luckily, to get transferred like 3 weeks after I moved. So the longest we've ever gone without seeing each other was 3 weeks, and that was the time frame when I moved back here. I do see him every week. I've never missed a week, except for they had lockdown in June for like a week, and I couldn't go that weekend because they didn't allow visits. But every other weekend I do see him Sunday and Monday, so I see him 2 days in a row. I have a friend that lives closer, so I usually stay the night with her, and then I'll go, it's not as far for me, you know, so I can go stay with her and then go that next morning and visit him. So it's good. I mean, that's like pretty much what my life is right now, is work. I work from home, so So that's really awesome. I'm blessed with that job. My work also has pretty much unlimited overtime, which is really nice. I'm not in school right now. It's summer break, so I won't be back in school till September, the middle of September. So I'm trying to work as much as possible. So right now, pretty much I'm working as much as possible. I'm visiting my husband as much as I can on the weekends. And still trying to have a little bit of a social life, you know. Today I actually got out. I went to Seattle, which is about an hour from me. And I met up with a friend who I met 2 years ago on a prison wife support site. And we've talked for 2 years, but we'd never met in person. And so it was really cool. We had lunch and had some girl talk, and it was really nice to see her and spend time with her. So I'm actually on my way home right now. Once I get home, I'm gonna work out, eat dinner, take a shower, have everything like laid out for tomorrow, and then I wake up about 7 or 8 tomorrow morning. I'll get ready, and then I go to the prison to go visit him. Visiting starts at 11 a.m., but I want to try and get there early because there's always a ton of people, and I want to be able, you know, to get there as soon as I can to visit with them. So that is pretty much what my life consists of right now. Like I said, school starts in September. Once school starts, it's going to be crazy because I'm going to have 15 credits. I'm taking 3 classes, 2 online, 1 on campus, and then I have work full-time and then visiting every week. So that is going to be insane. And like, I'm excited to go back to school. I did go to spring quarter, so that was my first quarter back. So this is my second quarter coming up. I'm excited to get my program, my second associate's degree finished, and I am going to school to be a chemical dependency counselor, which I'm really excited to start that career. But yeah, that's pretty much like my routine, like how I live my life right now, and just hoping, you know, every day that a bill gets passed in our state, or they bring parole back, or that we get resentenced, you know, because things will be so different when he's out. Anyhow, I'm going to end this video. It's at 12 minutes. I just wanted to let y'all know kind of what my routine is and like how we met. And I totally give props to Right a Prisoner. That pen pal site was how I met my husband, and I could never imagine being with anybody else ever in my life. Like, I love him to death. So I'm gonna end this now. I'm almost home, so I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening. Thumbs up. Leave me any comments you have. Like I said on the last video, any questions, totally leave them down there. I'm an open book, so I will answer any and all questions. And I'll talk to you guys later.